Hello and welcome to Eye on Africa. I'm Clarisse Fortuné, and here are the stories making headlines across the continent. Dozens of volunteers in South Africa bring aid to the Zama Zama from a gold mine, as the illegal miners are still refusing to return to the surface for fear of being arrested. Their health is said to be deteriorating. A doll to make you feel like an African princess. A young entrepreneur is set to create a lasting impact on a generation of children who are confident and proud of their heritage. Rock and metal, the African way. Two musical genres are making waves in Kenya, captivating audiences and inspiring a new generation of musicians. In South Africa, dozens of volunteers were able to enter an abandoned mine shaft in Stilfontein to help hundreds of illegal miners who have been underground for a month. The police minister visited the site after the government said it would not send help for the miners in order to, quote, smoke them out and arrest them for illegally entering the mine in search of leftover gold. Shenishin.
The month-long standoff continues between miners and police in this province in South Africa. Authorities have blocked food and water supplies to try and force them out and arrest them for entering the mine illegally in search of leftover gold. Relatives wait anxiously at the site amid fears that hundreds could still be stuck more than 2 kilometers underground.
I'm here waiting for young people who are underground, who are dying, young people from my home in Zimbabwe. It's better South Africa hands them over so we can bring them back home and bury them if they're dead. That's all we're asking for.
More than 1,000 illegal miners have already resurfaced in recent weeks amid the police crackdown, with at least one dead body brought up to the surface.
We need a much more quicker process because it is risky and dangerous for them to remain where they are for a longer period. Now, in order to achieve that, we need the community. We need their understanding. We need their cooperation.
It remains unclear if those remaining in the mine were unwilling or unable to get out of the shaft. But the undocumented migrants underground have refused to cooperate with authorities due to fears of being deported. Illegal miners operate in abandoned mines in the mineral-rich country, their activities costing the South African government hundreds of millions of dollars in lost sales each year. Many of those doing the risky work are immigrants from neighboring countries who venture underground to dig up gold and sell it on the black market to escape poverty.
Now to the DR Congo, where our team went to visit one of the companies producing locally jams and nut butter, successfully competing with foreign imports. Hard work has driven the firm's success, but a business forum called Makutano has also played a role. Now, in its 10th edition, the forum brings investors and entrepreneurs together. A report by Emmett Livingston, Aurélie Bazaraki-Bangula.
Some of the choicest mangoes in the region are being processed in this factory in Kinshasa.
It's at just the right stage of ripeness, quite firm, the best texture.
The fruit is peeled and then made into jam. Sivi Malukisa has developed the recipes over the course of 10 years. She wants to prove that local products can compete with imported brands, which dominate the market. So far, the gamble has been successful. The factory now has 15 employees and ultra-modern equipment.
To get a factory like Manitech to this stage, given all the difficulties in the DRC, you have to be a bit crazy and accept that people will think you're crazy.
This is her pride and joy, traditionally prepared peanut butter. The factory produces 25 tons a month.
When it's creamy like this, it's very good.
The company's flagship product can be found in the capital's supermarkets, such as here in Kintambo.
Bonjour.
Imported products, which are usually ubiquitous, are nowhere to be found on the shelves of this supermarket. It stocks only products from local companies.
We're able to work closely with producers and connect them with financial and technological partners. The aim is to set up a whole ecosystem to promote local production.
Getting financing and pushing companies to expand remains a challenge. But some firms have received a helping hand from the Makutano Forum, a Pan-African network of entrepreneurs and investors that counts about 1,000 members.
For women, we support the growth of both today's CEOs and tomorrow's CEOs. We've been organizing these kinds of meetings for 5 years to give a boost to women who need role models, who need networks, who need to develop their skills, and who need tools and guidance.
The Makutano Network is celebrating its 10th anniversary, and over the years, the forum's objective has remained the same: to help African entrepreneurs reach their full potential.
Now, you might be too young to remember the doll test. It's a psychological experiment designed in the 1940s in the US to test how young black children viewed their racial identities. And it found that given a choice between black dolls and white dolls, most black children preferred to play with white dolls. The test has been repeated throughout the years in different countries with more or less the same results. With me now is Renée Bissong. She lives in the UK, where she also witnessed a young black girl's disappointment with her own appearance and decided to act. She created a line of dolls celebrating African beauty with the mission of empowering the next generation. Welcome, Renée. Thank you for being with me. So please, can you take us back to the incident that witnessed that pushed you to go through that path?
Yeah, definitely, Clarice. So basically, it was an afternoon where I went to visit one of my colleagues at the time. She just had a baby. And a 4-year-old came along with me too. So when we were looking at the baby, it was just the two of us at the time in the room, she was just like, "Auntie, I want to have the same skin, the same hair color, just like the baby." When she said that, my first reaction was like a panic. And then the next thing is like inside voice would just say something, whatever it is, just say something. So the only thing I could tell her at the time, it was like she was equally beautiful, just like the baby. But after that scene, actually, I went home. I really felt a sense of letdown, really, like why at 4, you're already feeling in that way, like you want to be somebody else instead of being yourself.
And to be specific, the baby was
Mixed race.
Yeah,
and light skin, the whole thing. So, and then after that, basically, there was this like a nagging voice kind of coming in, asking me, what am I going to do about it? First, my reaction was a total rejection because I knew it demanded a lot of responsibility, and then I wasn't ready really to take on this issue. So I kind of just neglected it. But it kept persisting and coming back to a point where I couldn't ignore the voice anymore. So I thought, okay, it means like I'm meant to do something about it. But then in my head, it was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, what is it that I want to do? Because I just don't want to do the doll for the sake of doing the doll, right? But I want to have a doll that can empower, but then in the same that attach an element of education into it. So as I was looking into what was actually out there, I didn't see anything that connects. So it was very essential for me that each princess that comes in has to look like the region in which they're coming from, so that when the kid kind of see it, they feel the connection, they feel like they know her. At time, just a little story quickly. When customer comes in and see her and stuff like that, one in particular came in and said, "Oh, she looks like the lady who goes into my church. She sits on the 3rd row." It was quite very specific. But then to me, it kind of gave the validation that I needed in order to say that, yes, we actually got it. People can see it. And then to see also that it goes beyond the boundaries of race. You see, where you will see little boy as well, race, gender. Everyone, when they see Kira, their first reaction is like, wow. And you can never be tired. I can never be tired seeing that, to be honest with you. So that's how the whole thing kind of started.
And you from originally from Cameroon?
Yes.
And you also designed a set of 4 African princess dolls, and each representing a different corner of Africa. So what did you want to achieve?
To me, it was essential that to empower, because I wanted through the Nubian princess doll, the kid to see themselves, to see their own reflection, but more so not an interpretation of somebody else or like a caricature image of what they think we looks like. So I had to refer back to actually within Africa itself. So one of the process of actually designing this, it was like I was looking into each region I look at different group within the region that you find in other countries as well. And then I looked into the different features because it was essential. For example, for me, it was like when we meet, let's say we meet here, what are the elements that tell when I look at you and say, oh, where in the map can I put you? Where in the map can I place you? Or let me guess, just by the way you look, or by your eyes or your cheekbone, you see what I mean? I can say, oh, you might look like this place. So that's how I kind of gone on with it. And then that was more the idea into pushing that, because to me it was essential that when the kids see that, oh, they can see, she remind me of maybe an auntie, or a sister, an uncle, a friend, and so empowerment were very much at the core of what the Nubian princess is, and so Kira is our first princess of the series. She's from West Africa. Yeah, she's our West African princess, so I've started with her, and then with each princesses that we bring, there's a storybook that comes with it. Yeah? Because as I was saying, that the element of education was very essential to us as well, because later on the idea is that we get to develop the character as it goes on, basically.
And quickly, what's your next plan?
Oh, the next plan, the project's big. So basically it's to go into building schools. Yeah, I'm very interested into STEM subject in trying to encourage girls to get interested into the STEM area. And so that we kind of help in terms of technology later on, why not, to build the new Africa tomorrow.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Honebi Song. All right, now, rock and metal, not a musical genre I would necessarily associate with the continent. And yet, as the global music scene continues to evolve, they are making waves in Kenya, captivating audiences and inspiring a new generation of musicians. And this surge is not just about sound. It's a cultural renaissance that seeks to Africanize rock and metal, blending powerful riffs with rich African heritage. Olivia Bizot reports.
This may sound like typical rock, but it's infused with a uniquely Kenyan twist. A growing wave of fans are flocking to concerts featuring indie rock, punk, and heavy metal artists.
We can see the increase in like a whole new fan base made up of the new generation. Our generation is rebellious now, so we need somewhere we can let out our anger on, and this is it.
A key to the music's success has been the blending of local languages with political and cultural themes.
If some of the music the bands are releasing is Africanized, it's even better. It's even better because people appreciate that. You appreciate where you're from. You're trying to relate to. You're trying to bring out your own culture and bring it out to the international scene.
Thanks to the internet, these bands are reaching global audiences. Last year's tragedy, Kenya's pioneering metal act, has led the movement for 2 decades, competing internationally and building fan bases from Uganda to Japan.
We've been really fortunate to have people messaging us all over the world, just telling us that, I've listened to your music, I've seen your videos on YouTube, and we love it, and when are you coming here? So we wouldn't be able to do that without social media, without the power of the internet.
Metal and rock bands are not only growing in Kenya, but across the continent.
And this report concludes our edition of Eye on Africa. Thank you for watching and stay tuned to France 24.